After an amazing time in Ireland, we put our Irish adventures behind us and crossed the North Channel to explore Scotland. We've captured our 3-week exploration of this amazing country in a series of videos. Come along with us as we delve into a country rich in history, culture, and natural beauty.
In this episode, we leave the beautiful Isle of Skye and head back to the mainland. We look for Nessie, visit some incredible historic sites, take in the beauty of the Scottish Highlands, and visit a world-famous golf course.
As we drive over the Skye Bridge, we both agree that we need to come back to this magical island soon.
Maybe for a hiking vacation.
That'd be great. But for now, we have a 2-hour drive in front of us, and en route to our next campground, we plan to stop and see some sights.
Our first stop is Culloden Battlefield, just outside of Inverness. There is a 4-fee visitor center and guided tours, but we opted for the free self-tour, with Mishka as our tour guide.
This large moor is where the Jacobites were defeated by the British on April 16, 1746, effectively ending the 1745 rebellion and ending the hopes of the restoration of the Stuarts to the Scottish throne. The British forces outnumbered and outgunned the Jacobites, and the battle took only 40 minutes. The boggy, uneven terrain was a huge hindrance to the Jacobite forces that were mainly composed of Highland clans and who were positioned in the muddiest part of the moor.
Markers show where each clan had been positioned at the start of the battle and how many soldiers each clan had committed to the battle. The large field has plaques honoring the clans and divisions engaged in the battle, as well as flags marking their positions.
Memorials identify the location of key events, including clan graves where many of the fallen were buried. A large stone cairn erected in 1881 stands as a reminder of the lives lost. Yeah, very pretty. Located on the battlefield is an original 18th century thatched building believed to have existed at the time of the battle. It was neat to see cottage architecture of the period up close, and as I looked at this cottage, I couldn't help but think about the ordinary lives that were upturned because of the battle. The defeat of Bonnie Prince Charles at Culloden marked the beginning of significant changes in the Highlands, including the dismantling of the clan system and harsh punitive measures against Jacobite supporters.
Located near Culloden Battlefield is Clava Cairns. This ancient burial and ceremonial site dates back to the Bronze Age, which is about 4,000 years ago. The site has gained attention due to its resemblance to the fictional standing stones in the Outlander series.
The site consists of 3 main cairns, with each cairn surrounded by a stone circle. The structures are made of large stone carefully arranged to create chambered tombs.
The cairns are allied with the winter solstice, and the passage tombs are designed so that the setting sun illuminates the interior during the solstice.
Ready to head to the car? Sure. Lead the way.
After the cairns, we stopped in Inverness for lunch and to explore the city. Traffic was a bit stressful as we searched for public parking, but we eventually found a site.
That's Inverness Castle over there, but it looks like they're doing a ton of construction. That guy. See it? Blue hair? Very blue hair. We strolled along the Ness walkway and crossed the bridge. It was all beautiful. Known as the capital of the Highlands, the city dates back to ancient times and is believed to have been a Pictish settlement.
We grabbed lunch at a place called Jimmy Badger's and explored the city a bit more before heading back to the van. Just a short drive from Inverness is our next campground, Loch Ness Shores Campground. After we set up, we walked down to the shore of the Loch Ness and got some shots, including some ducks. This spot is famous for its stunning scenery and the legend of the Loch Ness monster, Nessie. Situated in the Great Glen, Loch Ness is the largest lake in Scotland by volume and one of Scotland's most famous natural landmarks.
Hi, duckies. Are you guys good? What's happening? The next morning, we woke up to a rainy day. Gotta find a decent view of the rain. We've been pushing the pace the past few days, and so we decided to take a rest day and had a relaxing day just hanging out in the van. Surprisingly, we did not feel cramped at all in this tiny space. Here's the love of my life.
We spent day 3 at Loch Ness exploring the Falls of Foyers Circular Trail.
We're heading off for a hike, hopefully, to the falls. We hope. That is our end goal. Falls of Foyer. Foyer. How the Scottish pronounce it.
Trail offered great views and even some local wildlife. We took our time and really enjoyed the hike.
Not even in the woods, and we're seeing a pheasant already. You look a lot like a chicken. Don't mean that in a bad way. It's where the river feeds into the lake. It's really not very full. Oh, John. This is a pretty good shot of the bridge until you get here. Right there. Not even on the trail yet. And look at all the pretty things we're seeing. Remember this loop again?
Foyer Falls.
Circular. Loop. Circular. Maybe circular just implies it's a loop. Wow, beautiful. It's a pretty bridge, kind of. I mean, it's just a wooden bridge, but it's a pretty scene, I guess. Damn pretty. What we just finished. We're hoping we're going the right way. Oh, it's beautiful. That's the other side, huh? That's our back end. Red squirrel looks like. Yep.
During our stay, we had heard fighter jets flying overhead, and we finally got to see one flying over the loch.
Yeah. Got the second one going by.
We took a break for a snack at a cute cafe before we headed down to visit both the fall's upper and lower viewpoints. Oh, pretty. I'd say this is a better viewpoint, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we're heading the right way. Okay. think that might have been one of the pictures we saw on the all trails, actually. Just love these purple flowers. They're so beautiful. I'm gonna miss them. That rooster has a lot to say.
The return section followed the edge of the valley carved by the river, so it was beautiful as well. We were happy with the over 6 miles of hiking we did today, especially with the significant changes in elevation. The weather was good all day, but then as we finished up, the rain started up again.
All right.
We had dinner, cleaned up, and relaxed in the van for the rest of the evening.
The next morning was gorgeous. We grabbed breakfast and coffee at the information center, finished packing up, and head out for the next campground.
The first part of our drive included about 45 minutes of what are called B roads. These are narrow roads, sometimes not paved, with lots of byways on either side to allow vehicles to share the road. Many of the turns were blind due to outcroppings, forest, or tall crops. We managed to get to the A9 eventually and welcomed the easier driving.
We arrive at the Scone Camping and Caravanning Club and get set up in beautiful weather. The campground is adjacent to the Perth racecourse, so we went for a walk around the track. Pheasants, John. Those are pheasants.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind.
She said we could walk on it, I just don't know how you get in. So kind of unexpected. Strictly private, no access. So I guess that's not the path we're supposed to take. So which river is this again? Tay, T-A-Y? River Tay.
There was also a trail along the River Tay, and we thought we might see the Scone Palace from there.
Are we going to get rained on? Very, very pretty over there. That's a pretty swift-moving river.
We had a good hike despite a few swarms of midges, and we did get a distant glimpse of the palace. The midges were an inspiration for the name of our camper van. We agreed we would call her Midge.
We got back to the van as another downpour started.
Wasn't it just sunny and beautiful at the start of our walk?
Yes, it was. But here in Scotland, that's just the way the weather is. So we're at the Scone Camping and Caravanning Club. Puzzling before we start packing. This seems to be the way the UK clubs are. They're just pitches. You have electricity. Nice. These also just grow randomly on the side of the road. I've seen these all over the place. They're beautiful. All right. Need to turn the chairs around, right? We're good to go, yeah. Wonderful work. And we are about ready to go.
Next morning, we packed up and drove a short way to Scone Palace. We were excited to see the palace, and we finally figured out what birds had been making the cawing sound we'd been hearing during our stay in the campground.
Scone Palace. So excited.
Heard that last night.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, look at the peacock. That's what we're hearing. It is something else. Hello, ladies. Gentlemen. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. Look at you. You're a show off, man. Wow. You're showing off, huh? Oh, very handsome. Yes, very handsome. Very showy.
Yes.
They show off their stuff.
And she's looking very cool.
Yes. Yes, such a lady. This is the site of the enthronement of the Kings of Scots and the Scottish Parliament. The mound is said to have been formed by lords carrying earth in their boots after swearing loyalty to their king on their own land. They deposited soil to create a mound as we see it today. Scone was the site where Scottish kings were traditionally crowned. They took their oaths on Moot Hill, sitting on the stone of Scone, in the presence of their nobles and clergy. Also known as the Stone of Destiny, the stone was kept at Scone Abbey until it was taken to England by Edward I in 1296. What we saw was a replica, as the actual stone was in a Perth museum. The chapel on Moot Hill is a modern replacement of the ancient religious structures that once stood here. Scone Abbey was destroyed during the Scottish Reformation in the 16th century and was a major religious center in its time. Inside the chapel are several memorials to members of the Murray family. The chapel and the palace were built by the Murray family. The palace was built in 1808 by David Murray, the 3rd Earl of Mansfield, who wanted a residence that reflected the historical and cultural significance of the site, while providing a modern and grand home for the family.
No photos or video were allowed on the interior, but it was well worth the visit.
You try it for me? Thank you. The fact that this is where the Parliament was, and that's where all the kings of Scotland were crowned. I hadn't realized the connection with Dido, so that was tickly for me because I'd known about that story. So, I knew about the peacocks, but I'd kind of forgotten about the peacocks, if I'm being honest. Arch of Scone, I'm sure it has some major historical significance. And I was just telling you to take the pictures because I was worried people were going to start coming. I wanted to. What's weird is she wasn't really even calling out to the dog, right? Holy cow. There's the doggy running around. We figured out as we were leaving that the lady with the dogs was actually Lady Mansfield, which explained why she didn't seem too worried about them running around. This is her home. I think so. Thrilled. She might live here. Oh, I don't know.
That's why she wasn't so.
Yeah, it must be. It must be why she wasn't too terribly worried about it.
Next we drove to the Old Course at St. Andrews. The weather was spectacular as we pulled into a hotel lot nearby.
Huh? Yeah. It says you're allowed to walk the course.
We walked along the 17th and 18th hole to the St. Andrews Hotel. It was cool to watch a number of foursomes finish their rounds, and it was obvious that it was special to almost all of them.
Wow.
We crossed the street to check out the monument to Scottish martyrs during the Reformation. We also grabbed lunch at the Niblick, which resides in the same building as the World Golf Museum and overlooks part of the Old Course.
What's that?
Is this okay?
This is beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you. That'll do. Just like that, it went from beautiful to spitting at us. Beautiful here in just a moment.
As we started walking back to our van, the weather changed dramatically. It started to drizzle and then began to pour. We were soaked to the bone by the time we got back to the van.
We traveled to our campsite at the Woods Camping and Caravanning Club. The weather changed again during our drive, so it was sunny and warm when we set up the van. We met some lovely people in this campground. We met a couple from South Africa on their first night camping.
And we met a gentleman who had recently retired from the Scottish Public Trust.
He had all kinds of really interesting information that he shared with us. Hi.
The next morning we headed out to explore Stirling, but our first stop was to see the National Wallace Monument.
Did he just tell you could drive in the grass?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. That's not something you see every day.
One day after we learned, that's how they did it.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. We hiked up the Wallace Trail, enjoying lots of wooden carvings depicting historical facts and events along the way. Very cool. I like that. One of Scotland's most iconic national heroes, William Wallace was a legendary Scottish knight and freedom fighter. He played a major role in Scotland's struggle for independence from English rule during the 13th century. Wallace gave his life in the pursuit for Scottish independence and became a symbol of resistance to tyranny.
We were impressed with the monument and the view once we got to the top of the hill. The views of Stirling in particular were amazing.
It is an impressive monument. I'll leave it at that. That must be Stirling Castle, right? Oh, so this is blue continuing here. We drove into the town of Stirling to see Stirling Castle and the rest of the town. Often referred to as the gateway to the Highlands, Stirling's location at the crossing of the River Forth made it a key strategic site for centuries. Oh, Rob Roy. Or Burns. It's a cool city, Ben. The signs that say Stirling Castle. The fact that it's like uphilly. We navigated the winding and steep roads, ultimately reaching the castle entrance. At the entrance of the castle was the statue of Robert the Bruce. As King of the Scots, he led Scotland to independence from England during the Wars of Scottish Independence and is celebrated as a national hero.
The castle has played a central role in Scotland's history, serving as a royal residence, a military stronghold, and a symbol of national pride, and has been the site of multiple sieges and battles. From atop the castle walls, we had panoramic views of the surrounding countryside, including the Wallace Monument, the Ochil Hills, and the River Forth.
We visited the Chapel Royal, which was built by James VI in 1594 for the baptism of his son, Prince Henry.
We continued to explore the various buildings and the incredible collections that they contained.
We loved exploring the castle. Afterwards, we walked down through Stirling, stopping for lunch along the way. Bye, Stirling. You've been grand.
What's that?
Telling Stirling it's been grand. Telling it goodbye.
Soon after we returned to our campsite, a rain shower passed through, leaving a double rainbow behind for us to enjoy. Join us next time as we finish our visit to Scotland after seeing the Kelpies, returning to Loch Lomond, hiking a small part of the West Highland Way, and getting an Airbnb in Edinburgh.